Jaria Digital tells you many different stories of the world. The horrible story about meat. Justine had liked eating meat since he was born. He didn't like vegetables and fruits. He didn't want to eat rice. He didn't like snacks either. He liked meat and Imperator brandy. He hated other food. Every day he wanted to eat meat only. When he was young, he liked chicken. And then he started eating beef and pork when he was grown up. Sometimes he tasted the meat of goat and dog. He liked barbecue. He didn't like seasoning. He wanted pure meat for his barbecue. But he could not afford to buy enough meat when he started living alone in Manila. He was a carpenter. So whenever he made money, he bought meat and Imperator brandy for his barbecue dinner. But in the rainy season, he could not make money. When he could not eat meat, he didn't eat any other food. He just waited until he made enough money to buy some meat. So he tried to find cheaper meat which he could buy. Any meat was okay for him. He just wanted to eat meat every day. One day he hurt his right arm. So he could not work properly. He had to take a rest until he was fully recovered. The problem was he didn't have enough money to buy meat. So he called his parents in the province to ask them for some money. But they were just poor farmers. They could not help him. His desire for meat was getting bigger and bigger. Whenever he slept, he dreamed of barbecue. One day he just saw some cats on the street. They were walking barbecue for him. He could not catch them with one arm. When he almost gave up catching a cat, fortunately he found a dead cat. It was a roadkill. However, he could not skin off the cat using one arm. So he called his assistant who likes meat too. Justine's assistant Kent also liked to eat meat. Both of them were meat lovers. Kent was an ex-veggie because of his parents. They were Buddhists. But when Kent met Justine, he became a meat lover too. Kent was poorer than Justine. He was just an assistant of the carpenter. So when Justine could not work, Kent could not make money either. Kent also wanted to eat barbecue. So when Justine asked him to skin off the dead cat, he thought it was a good idea. Even though they didn't have Imperator brandy, they enjoyed their barbecue feast. But the cat was too small for two men. And it was not very delicious. So they talked about other meats like chicken, pork, beef, goat and dog meat. Justine's favorite was pork and Kent's favorite was beef. Suddenly Kent said,
"Chinese people eat human meat too. I have heard that human meat tastes very much like pork, but more delicious. So there was a food named the infant soup in China. It is their culture."
Justine couldn't believe it. But it was interesting to him. When Justine's arm was recovered, he could work with Kent again. And they could eat the meat barbecue every day. But Justine was curious about the taste of the human meat whenever he ate the pork barbecue. He couldn't forget the story about the Chinese infant soup. He didn't know how to get the human infant or human flesh to taste it. But his hunger for human meat was getting bigger and bigger. Finally he lost his appetite for the normal meat barbecue. One day he told Kent about his desire for human meat. Kent confessed that he was also curious about it. So they made a plan to steal the fresh human dead body from the graveyard. They thought it was not a serious crime. But they were not brave enough to dig up the graveyard and didn't have guts to kidnap or kill a human. Finally, they decided to steal a human body when they worked at the medical school. There were several dead bodies for anatomy dissection. Finally, they could steal some parts of the human body. Luckily, the dead body was not preserved chemically. After they tasted it, they could not eat the normal meat anymore. They became addicted to human meat. The co-workers of Justine didn't know when Kent vanished without trace. All of a sudden, Justin started working alone. And then he moved around a lot. Whenever he left a construction site, a child disappeared from the town. And finally nobody saw Justin any longer. He has disappeared totally. Where is he now? Can you guess where he is? Probably he is around you at this moment. We will deliver a variety of issues and knowledge around the world. Thank you for watching Jaria Digital.